What's your name?
Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me. Stop it. No, stop what you're doing. Let me go. Let me go. I can stand and I can be quiet. No, I have a right to understand this process. Stop it. Please, this is. Can you just stand? Can I get there?
Can you walk? Can you walk outside?
Can I have a breath? Can I have a breath?
Can you walk outside?
I cannot hold up and centering myself.
Outside. Okay, we gotta take it up.
Let her speak! 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 Let her
I don't need to do this. I just needed a moment. Stop!
Let her go! Let her go!
I just asked a question. I just asked a question. Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me. Let it go. Stop what you're doing. Let go. Let me go. I can stand and I can be quiet. No, I don't have the right to understand.
This is on you guys. Leave her alone. Let her speak.
We are waiting for the train and post-commission.
Rent?
Yeah, go for it.
I think this calls for a rent.
Okay.
They fucked us.
Yeah, don't they always?
Well, but they fucked us in our face, and then they fucked us again in our face when they lied to us while they were fucking us in the face.
So basically what happened is this agreement was already passed. It's basically, they said that the mayor had no alternative. So it's a state policy and she had to agree to it. She has no option. And so this was just to ratify it, but they deferred it and they basically said that if you speak today, then you can't speak when it comes, if it comes back, you can't speak.
They said several times, if it comes back. And then finally, an hour later, they admitted it wasn't coming back because there was no point since they had deferred it all to Gala and she already finally stood up and said something. She avoided everything. She finally stood up and said, I had no choice. I had to agree to this. I agreed to this in March and it's just ridiculous.
Yep. So anyways, what she agreed to is $50 per inmate for, I think it's 48 hours that they house, but it costs about over $300. So basically, Miami-Dade County taxpayers are forced to cover the differential. So we're forced to cover money because the state wants us to house people in a county where 58% of the people are from another county. So we're gonna basically, from another country, sorry. So they're basically gonna force us to pay for the authoritarianism that they're forcing down our throats. So
I'm gonna say, for the Gestapo to round us all up and ship us out to who knows, maybe Alligator Alley now, for a minimum of 48 hours.
That's another one. Thomas Kennedy said that property was worth over $197 million, and it's being taken from Miami-Dade County residents by force by the state. So lots to keep ranting about, but I think I'm almost out of time, and I hope the train will be here soon. But anyways, we'll keep talking about it. Oh, and there's video on a woman being dragged out of court that I will put up shortly.
Understanding the motion that was made previously and adopted by this board, giving retroactive authority to the mayor to sign the agreements, and understanding 11A2, and this is an actual retroactive approval. So 11A2, from my perspective, is unnecessary. I would move to defer that item to no day certain.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to defer 11A2. This is Commissioner Gonzalez's item. Is there a second on the deferral?
Second.
It's been seconded by the Vice Chair. So we have a motion to defer. We have a second by the Vice Chair. Madam Attorney, may I just take a vote, or how does this work with public hearing on this item?
You should take up the
vote on the
reasonable
deferral?
opportunity at this time, but you can let the members of the public know this item has been deferred and has been approved, in essence. There's no need to approve this item at this point.
Okay, so is it acceptable that I take a vote or announce my public hearing statement at this time?
I believe you should take up reasonable opportunity.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up reasonable opportunity for item 11A2 and its deferral. All those who are signed up to speak on 11A2, if you're here, and I have a list, actually I have quite a few. So just to kind of walk through and explain what just happened on 11A2, okay? If you guys want to pay attention, I hear a little bit of background noise. Quiet in the chamber. This is important because I have quite a few speakers registered to speak. So 11A2 was just moved to defer. I anticipate the vote will reflect such, but I want to go ahead and open up a public hearing as well because it's the proper posture and procedure. But I will say that it is my understanding that if you decide to speak today, you have that opportunity, and I will grant that opportunity. But if you decide to speak today and this item for whatever reason was to resurface, then public hearing has been concluded and you can no longer speak again. So I say this because the item's not going to be discussed today. It is a motion to defer the item indefinitely, right, Commissioner Gilbert?
Yes.
So again, you have your full right to speak on the item today. You will be granted 1 minute to speak. But if you do speak today, then public hearing will have been had, and if this item was ever to resurface, you will not have an opportunity to speak then. So that said, I kind of want to get a Madam Attorney, how do you suggest I do this? Because I have quite a few speakers. Shall I call them by name, or shall I just get a raise hand? Commissioner, 1 second. I'm trying to figure. One second. I'm running a meeting here, so.
I would just start calling the names, and those that wish to speak can stand up, and those that don't stand up, then they can come back and speak at the appropriate time when the matter is under consideration.
Okay, and Madam Attorney, at this point, will they be speaking on 11A2 or on the deferral?
On 11A2, including the deferral.
Okay. All right, so. Okay, so I was originally going to take this item up last. So because let me call the speakers. I think there's one there that.
I just want to, support the deferral to second it.
Well, we have a second, but I want to get a test of who would still like to speak today, and who won't. But if you all opt to speak today, public hearing will have been had for everybody. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. So even if just one person speaks, and no one else speaks, then public hearing has been had on this item, and if it resurfaces, there will be no opportunity to speak on this item again. I'm only saying this over and over because I want to give you all the opportunity to speak on this item. Shall it be discussed at some point? So with that, I'm going to go ahead and call your name individually. If you want to raise your hand and say you're going to not speak today, if you want to, and if not, you could come up to the podium and you'll have a minute to speak. Okay? I want to be fair, but I want to make sure everybody understands what's going on. All right, I have Ira Kurzban. You want to speak or you want to waive? You can waive in opposition. You can.
He's going to speak.
All right. So, if you'd like to speak,
I just want to make it clear. If I speak, does that mean no one can speak?
No one else could speak. And
I can't speak.
If you speak today, anyone who wishes to speak today may. But in the future, shall this item come back to this board, to this body, no one will be able to speak on the item. And the item will not be discussed today. So that's important to know. There is no item being discussed today. It is being deferred.
Okay, then I'll withdraw.
But is it implemented? Is the item implemented?
It's been deferred. It's not being implemented because it's not being implemented by this board. But the item, this is being deferred. The item itself, 11A2, there's no action being taken today.
So is the BOA executed today? No. Hold on. Just order for a second. There won't be the yelling questions to the dais thing.
Madam Attorney, would you like to clarify the procedures? We will have order in this chamber. We will have order in this chamber.
Chair, may I? Let me explain it.
Right now?
Let me explain it. Mr. Chair, let me explain it.
There has to be order in the chamber.
Can I be recognized?
Once we, yes. I will recognize you, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman,
Hold on. Guys, order in the chamber.
can there be a reasonable...
I would. All right. Show us recessed. Show this chamber recessed.
Hello?
The chambers is now closed. Everybody has to exit the chamber. Congratulations. With the quorum,
Mr.
as I was saying, I would be fair and allow everyone to speak if you wish to. And you will have the appropriate time if you conduct yourself in the right posture and respect this chamber. Commissioner Bastien, you may.
Through the chair, it seems to me that there is a misunderstanding that we don't want you to speak. We want you to speak. We want you to speak. But what the chair explained, and I want to make it clear, is that this item is being deferred. If you speak today, if you choose to speak today, and it's your decision to speak today, when the item comes back, you will not be able to speak again. We want you to speak, but when and if, let's say, if and when it comes back, you will not be able to speak. The decision that you have to make is that, one, the item is deferred. Nothing is going to happen. Now, the question you need to answer is that, do I want to speak today? Or do I want to reserve my rights in the future to intervene in the event that it comes back? I hope that this is clear. It is your choice. You know that we, my colleagues and I, we always want you to hear your voices. We want you to be here. We want to hear your voices. But the decision that you need, it's a personal decision. Do I want to speak now that we know that the item is going to be deferred? Or do I want to reserve my rights to speak in the future in the event that the item comes back? Thank you so much.
And so let me just say this is not a Q&A. Now, in fairness, I understand that some may have questions, and I want to make sure you get your questions responded to. Do not shake your head, sir, because I am about to help you. But you need to let yourself be helped. You need to let yourself be helped. This isn't the Wild Wild West. This isn't just yelling out questions and things like that. I've been more than kind and more than understanding. Madam Attorney and staff, can you assign an attorney or staffer to please meet with those that have questions on the side or outside the chamber and answer all of their questions? Because I'm sure some of them have questions on procedures, how this works, what happens today, what happens in the future. They have the right to have those questions and concerns. Can you please to continue this meeting and not have further disruption, can you please make sure that someone that is very well versed on the matter can meet with those that have questions and answer all of their questions?
We will work with the administration and make sure that those questions are answered.
Thank you. That said, I'm going to continue public hearing, and those that wish to speak may speak. I think Commissioner Bastien explained it perhaps better than I did. Mr. Ira Kurzban?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In light of the deferral, I'm going to defer my right to speak at a later time. The only thing I would ask is I've written a broader piece on 287G, not just on detainers, and I wanted to make sure that each of the commissioners receive this. So can I hand that to the sergeant?
Give it to the sergeant, and the sergeant will give it to the clerk to distribute. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so you're reserving your right. So you're going to speak.
I want to ask you a question before I speak, if I may. It's not clear. I think it will help the commission too. It sounds to me.
Unfortunately, if I allow you, I have to. It's considered public hearing. That's why I had them.
It was still not answered necessarily. So
Can a separate attorney? Okay, the commissioner is going to meet with you. Commissioner himself is going to speak with you. You're going to do this?
Speak? Yeah, I'll speak.
You understand what's going on, right?
Yeah, basically, you guys are ratifying this.
No, we're not.
Retroactively. I mean, is the agreement executed? Like, is the BOA executed? And is it in place? Are you guys getting reimbursed right now?
Not by this board, no. We have not taken any action.
Right, but the BOA has been previously approved.
Okay, if I continue to engage, I have to open a public hearing, and then it will not be.
I'll just speak on the merits of it. Okay.
So you're going to speak on it?
Correct.
Okay, all right. That's okay, though. I mean, the public hearing will be had, and if this item comes back, no one will have the opportunity to speak.
Let me try. Come on, guys. Can we get a little quietness back into this?
You have your right to. You're in your right to speak. We welcome it. This is why this process exists. But there's a procedure. It's not. I didn't make it up. I'm just the one orchestrating the.
Mr. Chairman, I'll speak with Tomas on the side, and I'll speak with him with the county attorney.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I get a clarification from the attorney's office?
Bermudez from?
From the attorney's office.
Absolutely. Madam Attorney, you're recognized for Commissioner Bermudez's clarification.
Madam Attorney, and I'd like to get a clear answer. I think all of us want to give everybody, whether they agree or disagree with any of us or the mayor, the opportunity to speak. I think the confusion that's occurred is that if we open it up to public hearing, the item is no longer in our hands. It's been actually now passed on to the mayor, because that's in essence what we did, correct? For the mayor to take the determination on behalf of this commission. Is that correct?
Yes, this board has delegated the authority to the mayor to execute agreements such as this one that are required to be entered into pursuant to federal or state law. This county is required to enter into this agreement pursuant to state law.
Okay. On the public speaking portion of it, because I think that's where the confusion comes. If the item was passed on and not being heard today, correct? Is that correct? By us? Not the original item.
The motion to defer is on. This item is going to be deferred.
Okay.
1182 will be deferred, and the chair opened it up to the speakers to decide whether they wish to speak today.
I believe the confusion comes from the fact that if the item comes back, these individuals want to be able to speak. Correct?
The chair. Yes, the chair has said that everybody who has signed up to speak on 1182 has the ability to either speak today, because if they're here, or they could wait, and if the item is brought back, when it's brought back, they would have the opportunity, if they did not speak today, to speak on the item at that point in time. And he has left that at the discretion of the speakers.
Okay, so here's my question. Leaving it at the discretion of the speakers, does opening up the public hearing today to one person make it impossible or make it not possible for the other individuals that have agreed to speak at a later date if it comes back to speak?
Yes, it does, Commissioner Bermudez.
Okay, and that's my concern. So
It's been the
because
practice of this board.
if in fact one person speaks, then I don't want to have a chilling effect on the other people being able to speak. I don't think it's democratic. I don't think it's proper. So if no one speaks, I'm fine with the motion to defer. But other than that, I'm not going to support it.
Correct. That's exactly. I'm with you. I am with you. That is exactly what we've been trying to explain. If one of them speaks, public hearing will be open and then closed, and they could all speak at that point. By the way, today, everyone will have an opportunity to speak, not just one person. But if this item ever comes back, they will not have that opportunity granted again, a second time. You speak once on every item, has been the practice of this board, and we all know this. This is not new to any commissioner on this board, that public hearing is had one time in the history of the item. Whether sometimes that happens in committee, sometimes that happens in the full board, but it happens once. They have the opportunity to do it today. Everyone has deferred their right to speak in the event that this item comes back, so that they can speak on the item when it comes back. So I just need from Luisa Suarez, if she is going to speak. Luisa,
Chairman.
I'm going to close public hearing. Luisa. No, wait. No. I've been waiting. I've been very.
I'm one person and I don't want people on me.
Okay, I'm
Through the chair.
ma'am. No. Guys, all right, we've been on this for a while. I've been more than understanding, Curtis, and it's very simple. You have your right to speak. We want you to speak.
Mr. Chair.
I see the commissioner. Give me a second. I need an answer from.
Should I speak? I'm going to speak.
They got explained.
I have it.
It's not the ice one, though.
Okay.
All right, we are going to
right.
have public hearing now. If this item was to come back to the board, there is no public hearing that will be had on this item. Okay, you have a minute to speak, please.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Bastien.
To the chair.
Hold on, because I have Commissioner Hardiman that has been raising his hand as well. Give me a second, ma'am. Commissioner Hardiman. I'm in public hearing right now. We've gone through a list just to bring you up to speed. We've gone through a list of 30 some odd speakers. They've all deferred their time, except for now the last speaker who is going to speak. I will call it, this will be considered public hearing. So if this item was to return, it may not, but if it does, they will not have an opportunity to be heard again under public hearing.
Mr. Chair, I apologize for my tardiness. I was in court earlier, but I've been following it, on my drive here, and we just have to be intellectually honest with everyone, right? Yes, our procedure is that public hearing is allowed to be heard one time in the course of any resolution or ordinance, but we as a body, we do have the ability to allow public hearing to happen again if we so choose to. It doesn't mean that it will happen. This board may decide against that, but it's just the truth of the matter. And so everyone is deferred. This is a very tough decision for most of them. They've deferred their time. If she wants to speak, allow her to speak, and then we move on. If we have a public hearing at the next hearing, it's the next hearing. 2 minutes shouldn't, absolutely tank it. Everyone has thought well enough of each other to allow the time to defer to the next hearing. If we allow this one person to speak on public hearing, I think that it'd just be fair that everyone else gets an opportunity to speak at the next time. They've already deferred their time. I think if we're going to do it, let's not, throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah. If I'm the chair at the time, and unless I'm overwritten, I will continue the practice of this board historically, and they will have one opportunity to do public hearing. I've been more than kind. You just got here, as you stated, but the last 20, 30 minutes, I have been more than understanding, and all my colleagues know.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying to the board is that at the next hearing, if we're talking about one person speaking for 2 minutes, for instance, we've been now just trying to decide this for a number of minutes. So one person speaking
It's not one person, Commissioner.
She's one person.
No, she's one person, but if
Everyone
she
else is
speaks
deferred.
now-
I got it.
If
I
she
got
speaks
it.
right now, I will call everyone else up because they need the same opportunity.
You don't have to though.
No, it's the right thing to do because they opted to defer their time to preserve their time for the next public hearing.
I understand that, but my point to you in all of this is all I'm saying, and I'll cease talking about this main issue. But when you pit one independent citizen against the rest of them in a matter of, whether or not they can speak and what it's going to, like the impact that it has on everyone else, it's just a tough decision to make. And that's why I think you see this sort of anxiety about it
I'm
all.
sympathetic to that. That's why I have allowed this to go on this long, which is not normal for this chamber. I promise you that. So, ma'am, you have your 1 minute to speak. You have to state your name and address. And public hearing is now open officially.
Mr. Chair, you forgot about
Mr.
me.
Chairman.
No.
You forgot about me.
We're
You forgot about me.
okay, but I'm in public hearing. What are we going at this again? Commissioner Bastian, you're recognized.
Yes. I'm concerned because unbeknown to me was the fact that if one person speaks, Mr. Chair, are you listening? Yeah, through you. If one person speaks, then if this item comes back, no. Let me correct this. If one person speaks, she speaks for all the others who haven't spoken.
No, Commissioner, I need you to pay attention to the chair when I'm speaking because I just clarified that. I am going to open a public hearing because Luisa Suarez wishes to speak and exercise her right to speak. She will have a minute to speak, but that will constitute public hearing being open.
Okay.
And I will then, that I don't need to, because they've now on the record deferred their time, I will go back to them and we will have public hearing open today. And all that have signed up will have the opportunity to speak their 1 minute on the item and the deferral today. They will not be granted this opportunity again when if and when it comes back to this board.
Those who spoke today. Those who
Nobody. Public hearing will be closed on this item.
So I tend to support what Commissioner Hardeman was saying. Is that we are policymakers. Yes, this is the way it's been done over the years. Just because it's been done this way over the years, that doesn't mean that we, as policymakers,
Commissioner Bastian,
we cannot change it.
Commissioner Bastian, again, I just clarified that would be my will, and this board can opt differently. But it has been the practice of this board on very controversial matters, just as this one. Very important matters, very humane matters, very emotional matters. That has always been the practice of this board. Preceding my time as chair, I do not make the rules.
But
I implement them. We make them cohesively.
To the chair, will you concede that just because something has been done one way doesn't mean that we cannot change things?
Commissioner, I'm going to continue with my meeting because we're going in circles. I'm going to continue with my meeting. Luisa Suarez, you have a minute to speak, ma'am. Please state your name and address.
On 11A2 only, correct?
On 11A2, ma'am. You still have opportunity to speak on other items.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Luisa and reside in District 3, Commissioner Hardeman's district, who's actually the one who proposed to defer and maybe cause this commotion. I'm here to oppose resolutions 11A2 through 11A4, but we'll be speaking about 11A2. Sponsored by Commissioner Gonzalez. I do question why I oppose resolution 11A2 and do not want it to pass. Not here to plead with anyone. Ultimately, if this resolution is passed, I ask Mayor Cava to veto it. I do question why you, Commissioner Gonzalez, are the sponsor of this bill as a non-birthright citizen. You came to the U.S. at the age of 2 in the 90s and didn't become a citizen until 2014. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your legal proceedings took 10 years. I imagine you wouldn't be in the U.S. or in your county commissioner seat if masked violent aggressors took you illegally away inside immigration court while your lawyer was in the bathroom or while the judge is printing a document that protects you from inhumane detentions. So I don't understand the hypocrisy or intentional threat to our...
Point of order.
All right, so a few things. So, guys, please don't make me regret this. Don't make me regret this. Don't. 1 minute is 1 minute. Thank you means your 1 minute is up. Do not ruin it for the rest of the people. I am very tempted right now. Guys, I'm going to call everybody else's name. Please do not address commissioners by name. You address the entire body. And you respect the chamber. And you act with decorum. Be respectful of others that want to speak as well. You have to be respectful of the other 30 some odd people that drove out here this morning and also wish to speak or may wish to speak. If you go over time, if you're out of order, it will not be the case. I'm going to go ahead and call everybody's name again. And if you still wish to defer, that's okay. But if you wish to come up and speak, you will be granted that opportunity.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Point of order.
I've been waiting patiently.
Senator Garcia, you have been waiting patiently, yes.
And I appreciate your leadership. This is a very difficult decision, but I hope we understand, commissioners, for us that get elected and believe in the First Amendment, we all do. It's important to understand that there's a flaw in our rules, and I think it's something that we should reconsider and look at and try to fix, because we have abilities to do reasonable opportunity and making sure that those that take their time to be here and speak get that opportunity and maybe not speak on another item. So I understand that the chairman is following the rules. Those are the rules, the traditional rules of this board, and I'm not trying to go away from those rules right now, but I think in the future we should really take a look at them and take a deeper look to make sure that we don't waste people's times, because a lot of times we come up here and we defer items and people have driven from down south, from up north, and it becomes cumbersome. So I hope this shows us an example of how we need to fix some of our rules. So
Commissioner Gilbert for...
Thank you. Point of order, Mr. Chairman. And to correct you, it wasn't Commissioner Hardiman who made the motion to defer. It was me. It's just, yeah, he seconded it, so it's tricky, but you know, I'm the one who's on time. Yeah, okay, yeah. Apparently, Mr. Chairman, my point of order is simply this, and it's a concern that I have because I understand the temperature around this issue. I don't want you all to think that we necessarily agree with what's going on in the country. But that's not actually what's before us. What's before us is the detainer agreement. And so you spoke, and I paid attention attentively to your remarks. But your remarks weren't about the item. They weren't about the item. So if we were actually faithfully and with some degree of fidelity enforcing our rules, you would have been cut off. So if we're going to do public hearing, I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with us doing public hearing. I'm comfortable with sitting here patiently and listening to everyone. But remember, it's on the detainer agreement. It's not on mass ICE agents. It's not on raiding work sites. It's not on any of those things. That's not before this board. If that were before this board, the issue will be positioned differently, substantially. What's before us is, unless I'm incorrect about this, Madam Attorney, is an agreement that has already been executed by the mayor. That's required. She didn't have a choice. So she can execute the agreement or be removed from office, essentially, or eligible. That's it. She's executed the agreement. She didn't have a choice. State law required. The same state law that we all raise our hand and take an oath to abide. It's the same state law. So when your comments come up, I anticipate that 30, 40, how many people come up, you speak? Remember, it's about that agreement. And remember that when we vote about that agreement, whether people will be held over for 48 hours and we get $50 or whatever, that's what's before us right now. Not all the other stuff. I understand this is an emotional issue that's sweeping the country, it's sweeping South Florida. It's very important to us. 53% of the people who live here were born in another country. It's important to us. But none of those things are before us, for this body. And so, as you all come to the microphone and you speak, remember that at some point the chairman, who is a very patient chairman, because I think, his patience will run if it's not focused on the issue that is before us. And so I think that's important. This is not about a larger immigration issue. This is about the detainer that the mayor was required to sign. And in some respects, we're required to ratify. And in even greater respect, we've already ratified. We've given her the authority previously with the motion. So I just wanted us to be clear, just position this so that everyone understands what's about to happen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Commissioner, I'm going only to those that have not spoken at this point. We're not going to do this. It's Commissioner Gonzalez and then Commissioner Regalado.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to all of the commissioners and to the public that's come to talk about a very, very difficult and painful topic. I encourage you to speak. It's important that you speak. It's important for people to know your concerns about this item. As has been stated by our Madam Attorney and by our commissioners, this is not something about which I have a choice. This is the law of Florida, and it was required that this agreement be signed. It came to the board as a routine matter for ratification, and it will no longer be required to go to the board for ratification because it's acknowledged that this is a requirement of state law. That to be said, it doesn't mean that this is the wish of this body, as has been stated. It's important for you to speak as concerned members of our community. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and call up those that still wish to speak. This is going to be quick. We're not doing this a second round the same way we did it the first round. All right. You have 1 minute.
I realize that this item is not on the agenda today, but I would like to voice that this is a bad deal for taxpayers. The reimbursement doesn't even come close to covering the cost of detention. And I'm really disappointed in the way that this public comment is being managed today, because we should be discussing it when it's actually on the agenda and we have a way to impact the way that this governing body moves the item. In addition, I want to use my time here to urge you to take action about the ICE detention facility being built in the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport in Big Cypress. You should sue to make that stop. Thank you.
Let's stay on the item, guys. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks for the opportunity, I guess. I just think this is a really bad...
Name and address for the record?
Thomas Kennedy. This is just a really bad deal for the county. I mean, the amount negotiated for reimbursement doesn't even come close to covering the cost for detention. We've already met the legal requirement under Statute 908.11 to sign a 287G agreement. I understand that there is legal opinion that the basic ordering agreement is required, but again, it's quite frankly not a fiscally responsible agreement, because once again, this doesn't even come close to covering the over $300 that it costs to detain people in county jails. Moreover, the public records piece is concerning to us and disturbing, the fact that people could be disappeared within county jails, within the system. We actually offered language that has been, I believe, emailed. We gave it to the mayor's team yesterday. We gave it to Commissioner Bastien. We can share with anybody else. It's very simple addendum language change that would ensure that people can be tracked in the system. Also, you guys should sue against Alligator Alcatraz.
Thank you, Mr.
That's
Kennedy.
$195 million land. It's outrageous that it's being stolen from us.
Just close public hearing. What do you guys think? Should we just close public hearing? Those people aren't being respectful. All right. You got to respect your colleagues. People that came out here to speak on this item. Don't sound confused. Don't look confused. I mean, you know what you did.
And here are my concerns for this BOA. As per Florida statutes, the county has already signed...
Your address, please.
The county has already signed into a 287G agreement, so it's my understanding that there's no further legal obligation to sign this basic ordering agreement. Number 2, this agreement is fiscally irresponsible. My concern is that taxpayers will bear the fiscal brunt and that critical public services will be cut to make up for the remaining amount that's not reimbursed. And I'm concerned about the BOA blocking the county from releasing public records about the people detained within its jails. Thank you.
And I'm here to speak on 11A2, raising my concerns about language related to public records and public accountability for detainees. By entering into the agreement with 2087G agreement with ICE, the county has a responsibility to operate with more transparency, not less. Nor is it absolved of the fiscal and legal liabilities that this agreement is creating for our county, and we can and will continue to make those arguments through the life of this harmless and reckless collaboration. But today we can keep it simple and urge you to treat those apprehended and caught up in this cruel and unjust system as you would your own family and friends, because in this county they quite literally are. My own family came from Cuba, and our community is at its best when it's receiving refugees and extending opportunity to others. We began this session honoring the passing of one of our históricos. We know what they represented, the welcome and advocacy they voiced for those fleeing oppression. Today our larger Miami immigrant community is hurting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am the regional director for Florida Rising. I'm speaking on behalf of our members across the county. We hear in opposed of this. I mean, we hear all what you say, but very concerned about how this erodes the constitutional guarantee of the due process, creates legal liability for the county, undermines the county safety and trust of the law enforcement, and many more things. And I heard a lot about humanity. I heard a lot about, like, speak up because we need to. But I also saw, like, this commission carrying out a woman that had a question of the process, and I think this commission owes an apology to that woman because it shouldn't be that way. And that, Mr. Chair,
Continue, sir. I'm here.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. So, yeah, she had a question about the process.
Thank you. Your time is up.
And she wasn't listening. She shouldn't be pushed that way.
Thank you so much. And I know the chairman has been very patient with each and every last one of you. Sergeants, can you do us a favor? When the 1 minute mark is there, please feel free, if it's okay with you, Mr. Chairman, to politely let them know.
I won't go over the points about how bad of a deal this is, since procedurally it's already passed, but I just want to call on the board and the mayor to do what they can do and supplement their duty to protect our immigrant communities, especially around transparency. I appreciate that the mayor and Mr. Reyes have said publicly that they will not block access to information about ICE detainees and the ICE detainer report from advocates, families, and journalists, but I'd ask that you say publicly on the record that the inmate search tool online and the ICE detainer reports that the county currently maintains will remain state public records under Florida Statutes 119. I'd also like to call on the mayor and commission to do everything you can to oppose alligator Alcatraz. It is an absolute humanitarian catastrophe, and it is your responsibility to speak up, file a lawsuit, and do everything you can. Thank you.
I am here to oppose 11A2 and ask you all, where is the line? When will you stand up for our community? And I'm talking about more than just an Instagram post or a letter. Will it be when they've gotten the residents who have had their temporary protected status revoked, when they go after the homegrowns, or when they go after someone that you know and love? Or will you continue to turn a blind eye to those who look to you for any signs of hope, who have come here on a similar journey to many of us, but have not been so lucky with their set of circumstances? You may face consequences for defending our community, but you have to let those consequences come. And when you look back, remember this time, remember that you tried and didn't just let our opportunities and our freedoms be eroded away from us. Passing this item opens up the possibility for those detained to be disappeared by removing ownership of public records from the county, a behavior that many of you have claimed to be against when done in countries like Cuba or Venezuela, but seem to have little qualms with here. So please stand up with those who most need it and oppose this agreement and oppose alligator Alcatraz. Thank you.
I come to you today as a Cuban American who arrived here in 1961, and I was given all the opportunities to stay legally in this country. I am sure many of you are either immigrants or descendants and benefited like I did, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Today, our immigrant neighbors, friends, and family members are under attack by a government that has labeled them all as criminals just for getting stuck in a broken immigration system. The proposal being considered here, that I understand is already passed, is not only fiscally irresponsible, but also erodes the constitutional rights and due process In the meantime, our community safety is jeopardized because of lack of trust in law enforcement. This agreement will also facilitate the disappearance of our immigrant friends, neighbors, and family members. Just imagine that your loved one disappears without a trace. A lot have lived through.
I work in construction. I work alongside citizens, residents, TPS holders, paroleros. 3 weeks ago, one of our guys was detained. It's unfortunate, but we knew where he was, and we knew how he was treated. And that's something that's very important. This resolution 1182, that's what matters to us, making sure that we know where they are and that they're being treated fairly. So I urge you to take that into consideration, that, we have neighbors, we have loved ones that we care about, and we need to stand up for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I speak today as a woman who lives in this county, as an immigrant, and as a community organizer who receives every single day a call from a people being detained. Government DeSantis is using cruelty as a political theater, and by supporting the 287G agreement, you are helping him to do it. Now he wants to build a detention camp as a political theater in the Everglades, surrounded by alligators and the Florida extreme heat and land that befall to this county. We are asking about workers, about moms, dads, neighbors, real people who have helped build this country. Instead, protecting them, the government is arresting them, locking them up, and making them disappear. The agreement you are voting on today, but you are not voting on today, but that agreement.
Thank you so much. We have
Hi, my name is Tenny Ann. However, I am speaking on behalf of Amy Morales because she was forcibly removed. My name is Amy Morales.
Are you registered to speak?
I'm speaking on behalf of Amy Morales.
Ma'am, it doesn't work this way, but are you registered to speak? Can we get her registered, please, after she speaks? Go ahead.
My name is Amy Morales, Policy Director at...
Your name is Amy Morales?
I'm speaking on behalf
Okay,
of Amy
go ahead.
Morales.
Go ahead.
My name is Amy Morales, Policy Director at Engage Miami, and I live at 89-1 Southwest 9th Street. I'm here today not just as a resident, but as the daughter of a parent that was deported in 2009. We used to talk about all the ways we would prepare if it happened, who we would call, and what we would do. But when it happens, you're overwhelmed with the reality of grieving a living parent. I don't know what my mom, brother, and I would have done had we not been able to locate my dad. And that's what's at stake today. I echo what everyone's already shared before me, and I urge you to vote no on 11A2. Given the budget shortfall, spending $25 to jail a person is not the best use of our taxpayer dollar.
Thank you.
I request that I get an
Paul
extra
Christian
15
Namfi.
seconds because you were speaking
No, ma'am.
during my 15.
We are here to highlight the dangerous aspects of the BOA detainer agreement. And I believe that Will Mann gave all of the reasons why we need to speak out of this, even though we know that this is moving forward. We all have our reasons. I want to speak specifically about the dangers of disappearances. And many of the people on the county, the community that we represent, is of disappeared people, of people from Argentina, from Haiti, Kurds, Chileans, Central Americans who have lived through this. And I simply want to uplift in the remainder of my time Lovinsky Pierre-Antoine, who was a human rights advocate in Haiti. He founded Fondation 30 Septembre. He disappeared on August 12th, 2007. He was never heard from again. We can't go down this road. Even 1% down this road is too much. We need to make sure that we have full accountability for our community members, their family. They know where they are. Thank you.
I'm here to speak against the item 11A2. I think folks have done a great job at talking about the financial aspects, lifting up the disappearances of folks. I'm a community organizer with Power Youth Center for Social Change. I've been on the ground in community in Little Haiti, Allapattah, Liberty City, Overtown, etc. And our people are scared. And I think they have a good reason to be afraid. They do not trust you, right? We hear you all say we are doing what we are legally required to do. We are afraid of being removed from office. My question is, what is going to be required? To what degree are you all going to take these attacks on our people and say this is okay because we're legally required to do this? Our people do not trust you, and I want to urge this commission to do whatever you can to be transparent, to communicate with our folks, because there's also a lot of misinformation. People don't know what's true or is not true. Please do what you can to support our folks.
Samantha Gazda.
Distinguished Mayor and Commissioners, I'm a proud Miami native and the granddaughter of Cuban immigrants. I'm here to speak in strong opposition to 1182, particularly the lack of transparency regarding public record. Residents have a right to know who is incarcerated, the conditions of their detention, and the justifications for their confinement. Family members deserve to know where their loved ones are. My grandparents fled repression and the disappearing of people by their own government. I never thought I'd see those tactics considered here in my own county. This is supposed to be a free country, and it's becoming like all these dictatorships. The world is watching. Please be on the right side of history, or you will be replaced by someone with the guts to stand up for our community. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here today. My uncle was a Holocaust survivor. 25 years I've had serving and protecting as a security officer. I lived in Germany. I visited Auschwitz. I was discriminated by just the color of my skin. I'm an American citizen born in Jersey City, New Jersey. I've worked in government buildings, and I've worked in festival and events with the people. I'm also a face painter. I'm here today.
Thank you, Ms. Lanza. Okay. All right, that is all the public speakers that I have registered to speak. So, public hearing is now closed.